Now, the first and most obvious difference is that when you pay a woman directly for bedroom fun, meaning that money changes hands, right? Money changes hands either before or after the act. Because of that act, you are not going to get her best. Okay, the kind of bedroom fun you're getting is what's known as transactional sex. Now, the fallacy I'm going to discuss, gentlemen, is the is the fallacy that you pay either way, right? You hear guys say this all the time. Now, the reason I'm discussing this is because Heather alerted me that several commenters alluded to this in one of my recent videos. I think it might have been the one where I talked about the millionaire surgeon whose wife was turning tricks on the side to the tune, I don't know, for almost made $750,000, really turning tricks on the side. But one of the most pervasive pieces of rhetoric that has permeated this community with regards to sex and relationships compared to quid pro quo with working girls, so to speak, to keep it clean for YouTube, hashtag YouTube chill, is, well, what's the difference in just paying for box? You're going to end up paying either way. Now, to be clear, gentlemen, I am not against men going quid pro quo for box, okay? I am never going to judge a man for that. Listen, it's not something I would do, but I'm not going to chastise another man for it either. I may not agree with it, and I may point out, negative consequences associated with it. But in the end, I am never going to judge another man for making this choice of his own free will and volition. A grown man who's making grown man decisions is making grown man decisions. It is what it is, and I'm not mad at that. However, there is a huge difference. There is a huge difference between box that you pay for with actual cash and gifts and box that you get because of your confidence and charm. Okay? Now, the first and most obvious difference is that when you pay a woman directly for bedroom fun, meaning that money changes hands, right? Money changes hands either before or after the act. Because of that act, you are not going to get her best. Okay, the kind of bedroom fun you're getting is what's known as transactional sex. Now, I have said in the past that all sex is transactional on some level. Even in great relationships where the female actually enjoys having sex with her man. I've said that before. I have said that is transactional sex. Listen, when Devin and I have sex, a lot of times that sex is transactional. Devin likes, listen, I assume that Devin likes having sex with me, right? I assume that she does, but again, one never really knows, right? She has sex with me to, satisfy me, and of course to keep other girls from giving me what she would not be able to give up. A lot of girls ask, oh my God, my guy cheated on me, blah, 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 blah. All men are dogs. Well, did you mention the part where you closed your legs for 5 weeks just because? Right? All sex is transactional. Now, even in great relationships, like I said, where the female actually enjoys sex, having sex with a man, there is still a level of transaction involved, okay? That transaction is, I am having sex with him so that he doesn't have sex with other girls and to keep the relationship going. But it's common knowledge among females who are in relationships with select men that sex is a requirement to obtain and maintain his commitment. No sex, no commitment, period. There are no two ways about it. This is an unspoken agreement that women and men have with each other when they engage in a sexual committed relationship. Now, on the other side of that unspoken agreement is the male end of the bargain. I provide the resources, protection, etc., right? In exchange for her sexual loyalty. If a man is not providing for a woman, there is no relationship. And guys, there is no need to point out relationships where the man is financially dependent upon a woman, okay? Guys, these relationships never last, okay? And even if they do, both parties are unhappy. And even if one of them is happy, that's a bad situation, gentlemen. A man should never, ever be happy with a woman supporting him financially. Ever, ever. And a woman should never be happy financially supporting a man. If there is contentment on either or both sides in a situation like this, then either one or both individuals have deep-rooted issues that will not allow them to be masculine or feminine. So miss me with these outlier situations or shit you see on television and movies, okay? That shit is make-believe. Anyway, when a man and a woman get together, there is an unspoken agreement that the man provides the resources and provisioning in exchange for a woman's sexual loyalty and support in his endeavors outside of the bedroom. If one doesn't uphold his or her end of the bargain, the relationship is destined to fail. Well, how does this tie into the you pay either way fallacy, right? Is that even though all sex is transactional on some level, the actual level of transaction dictates the quality of bedroom fun you're getting from a woman. Let me say that again. Even though all sex is transactional on some level, the actual level of transaction dictates the quality of bedroom fun you're getting from a woman. Guys, I'm here to tell you, any man can pay for box if he has the money and wants to get it, right? Any loser can rustle up a few $100 to go get some action. And that is exactly the reason that the men who actually pay for it never get a woman's best between the sheets. You see, gentlemen, women are acutely aware that they do not have to give their best between the sheets if a man pays actual cash for her exclusive sexual company. When a woman allows a man to enjoy her body only because she is getting something of tangible and or monetary value immediately before or after the dirty deed is done, her firmware simply will not allow her to be as aroused as she would be if, say, she has sex with a guy because he's charming and confident. Okay, biologically, women understand that men who pay for their sexual company directly and tangibly aren't able to have sex with women because women actually want to have sex with them. And again, we're talking about the average man here. We're not talking about celebrities, or as Kevin puts it, men in the industry, right? But women know that these kinds of men lack the requisite charisma, charm, and confidence to moisten a woman's nether regions to the point to where she wants to go to bed with him without a monetary or tangible exchange. And as we all know, women don't want men that other women don't want. You see, a man who has to pay for bedroom fun, that's a man who can't get it without offering immediate monetary or tangible payment in return. Doesn't matter how good looking or successful he is. In a woman's mind, that man is somehow flawed. Now, let me, just for a quick second, let me go ahead and address this here, because I've already brought it up. Let me go ahead and address this here, the elephant in the room, so I can make this argument with the proper context, okay? Right. Well, Tiger Woods paid escorts, or CEOs pay for escorts. Listen, again, the context of this conversation is average guys like you and me. We're not talking about CEOs or public figures or celebrities worth 8 and 9 figures. And let me just go, and again, I'm going to address this. Celebrities, gentlemen, and men with extremely high net worth who are in the public eye, they don't use escorts for bedroom fun, okay? They're not paying these women for action between the sheets. No, they're paying them for silence. You don't think Tiger Woods could have been up to his eyeballs in Punani without contracting the services of a madam? Of course he could have. But the problem there is that these bitches will go off and tell everyone, hey, I just banged Tiger Woods. A few years back, some basic bitch New England socialite hooked up with New England Patriots receiver Julian Edelman. They met at some sort of event. He got her back to her place and smashed her. What does this chick do? She takes a selfie with him asleep next to her, puts it on social media with the caption, "Just fucked Edelman, no lie." Now, that didn't cause an uproar because at the time, Julian Edelman was single, at least as far as I know. So basically, some clout-chasing bimbo making a post like that wasn't really a big deal. But ask yourselves this, gentlemen. What if Edelman was married with children, like, oh, say, Tiger Woods? You see, this is where discretion comes in, and this is exactly what men in the public eye pay for when they use escorts. They could smash girls all day and all night. Of course they could. They're public figures with a lot of money. But knowing women like we do, they can't help but talk about their conquests and make them all public. Dude, listen, look at girls like Selena Powell, Brittany Renner, other bitches like that. As soon as they get bottomed out by this millionaire or that or some athlete, they run to Instagram and tell everybody about it. Men like this are keenly aware of a woman's proclivities to tell the world about their role in this act. So to bypass all that nonsense, all that potential embarrassment and possible divorce, they use an escort service. But Donovan Elin found out about Tiger's extracurricular activities. Yes, she did. But all the working girls he was banging kept their mouths shut until a reporter exposed his relationship with Rachel Yucatel, who, by the way, did her level best to keep their affair under wraps. Okay, all those girls only started talking because they were getting attention. Otherwise, they'd have kept their mouths shut if that reporter had never uncovered Tiger's relationship with Rachel. Now, all of that said, just to reiterate, we're not talking about high-level men who use working girls for their discretion, okay? Any man who uses that as an example to prove you pay either way, you're being lazy and disingenuous. Because better than 95% of men who pay for box are average guys like you and me. They're just paying a couple $100 to bang some chick off Backpage or Craigslist or however they do it now. They're not millionaires. They're not celebrities. Okay, these guys are average, everyday, run-of-the-mill men who can't get laid because they lack the necessary skills to create sexual tension and subsequent attraction with women. And to be clear, guys, I just want to make this clear. Don't take offense to this. This doesn't make them bad people, okay? I also want to make clear that everyone knows that getting laid consistently as a man, it's difficult. Especially with the advent of the smartphone, the internet, dating apps, Instagram, right? Like, dude, average girls are competing for the top 20% of guys. So when an average guy slides into her DMs, he doesn't realize he's competing with high-value men the world over. There's no such thing as a girl who lives in a small town or a village who is beautiful and doesn't realize it. Andrew Tate actually told this story on Fresh and Fit a while back. I think he said he was in Romania or I forget where he was. But he said he visited this small village. He said he saw this drop-dead gorgeous there and thought to himself, holy shit. What's a girl like that doing in a small town like this? As if to imply that this hot girl didn't realize she was hot. Come to find out, this chick had almost 500,000 Instagram followers. Small village, out in the middle of nowhere. 500,000 followers on IG. So trust me when I tell you that I understand how difficult it is for men to get action these days with any consistency. Listen, most virgins in this part of the world are men. And the reason is because it is extremely difficult for average men to get regular sexual access. So you're getting no judgment from me in that regard. Now, the second reason the you pay for it either way argument is flawed is that sex is emotional for women. Well, Donovan, everybody knows that. What's that got to do with quid pro quo? What does that got to do with anything? Simple. You see, gentlemen, girls prefer to get paid with a man's confidence, his charisma, and his charm. Okay? These are the men they give their best to. These are the men they willingly have sex with without requiring some sort of tangible payment up front or right after. You see, women know when a man knows how to charm the panties off a woman. That checks off pre-selection, right? That checks off being able to escalate sexually. A woman would rather be paid this way than just to be handed cash. And the reason for this is that this payment, the non-cash and gifts payment, is worth more than cash and gifts. A high-value man who is confident, playful, takes charge, and actually shows the girl he wants to have sex with her is all the payment she needs. She inherently understands that such a man has experience with women. He's traveled the world. He's conquered mountains. He lives a life of dominance. Experiencing the sexual desire of a high-value man, gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, it is worth 1,000 times more than some average dude handing her a few $100. This is why men who pay with money never get her best. Are you listening, Abba, and preach? And men who pay with their very presence always get her best. The man she sees before her is seasoned, he's experienced, he's battle tested, he's pre-selected, he's charming, he's confident, he has charisma. She doesn't need cash to bang him because of what he is as a man. Understand this, gentlemen. Understand this. I want you to get your pens out. Get your crayons out. I'm about to drop some next level game on you. The more a woman requires tangibly from you before sex, the lower your value is. I'm going to say that again. The more any given female requires tangibly from you before you have sex with her, the lower your value is. If a woman makes you wait for sex, it's because your value isn't high enough. She's not going to give away the box if she's not getting something in return. And if it's clear to her that she's not going to get the rare opportunity to experience being ravaged by a man in demand who has the respect of other men and the lust of other women, she is going to require some sort of upfront payment or investment. And don't kid yourselves, gentlemen. Women know when they're dealing with a select man, and they figure this out very quickly. They're biologically hardwired to recognize the signs that a man is high value. The more he falls short in the way of value, the more she's going to require upfront. This is simple math. And this leads me to the last point I want to make here. This is very important. This is very important. And a lot of you aren't going to agree with this, but most of you probably haven't heard this yet. So listen up. Listen up. We as men, we understand very clearly that if we are going to commit anything to a woman in the way of time, attention, and eventually resources if she makes the cut, we know that we need to get something in return for our investment. Our time, our attention, our money, our resources, and so forth are worth a lot more to us than most of us realize. Most men inherently understand that all of this is worth something, which is why men get pissed off if they don't get laid after taking a woman out to dinner. As a side note, women don't owe you anything for taking her out to dinner. That's another conversation for another day. But the point is that in a man's mind, if he invests time, energy, money, and resources, then he wants something in return. Believe it or not, guys, women also need to get a return on their investment. Just like we don't like not getting anything in return for what we invest, they like it even less. Right? Men, we have the advantage that we as men have is that money and resources can always be made. A man could make a shitload of money, lose it, and have it all back and then some, really, if he possesses the skills that are necessary to do it. But a woman's sexuality only depreciates in value. It never appreciates. The very first time a woman gives her body to a man is exactly what happens to a brand new car the minute you drive it off the lot. It immediately depreciates in value. And the more miles a car has, the less valuable it is. In the same vein, the more bodies a woman has, the less valuable she is. This is why women protect their body counts with their lives. This is why they never let any man see what's actually on their odometer. Hell, at least with used cars, the odometer gives us some indication of its value, provided it hasn't been tampered with. But women, they tamper their odometers all the time because they know that their value is directly tied to the number of men they've given their bodies to, or in automotive terms, how many miles they have on their collective engines. Yes, a car owner can give its car a fresh coat of paint, some new tires, maybe replace a hose or two in the engine. And those things do increase its value a little bit, but not to the point to where it supersedes the 274,000 miles on the odometer. Doesn't matter what the car looks like. Okay? You can like everything about any particular vehicle. The end all be all in terms of its blue book value is what that odometer reads. It is literally exactly the same with women. The difference is that women roll back their odometers all the time. So you can never really judge her initial value based on what she looks like. Guys, this is why I teach what I teach. This is why I teach men how to accurately gauge a woman's value. I do this in my videos. I do this in my courses. I do this in my books like Womanese, The 49 Laws of Sharp, and so forth. My courses and books are like the Kelley Blue Book. Customers use the Kelley Blue Book to make sure that they don't overpay for a used vehicle. In the same vein, men buy my courses and books to make sure they don't overpay for a woman. In layman's terms, investing more in any given woman than is necessary. But I digress. What men have to understand is that women need a return on their sexual access, just like we need a return on our time, attention, and resources. So many men in this community thinks that women should just give it up for nothing. And nothing could be further from the truth, guys. But Donovan, women get smashed all the time by guys who don't pay them anything for it. They don't take them out to dinner, they don't buy them gifts, they don't do anything for these broads, and they still get the smash. False. You see, the bad boys and the high-value guys who smash these girls on the regular are not getting the poo nanny for free. Oh, no, they are not. Their payment is their charm, their charisma, their devil-may-care attitude, their ability to take her emotions on a roller coaster ride. Girls never smash for free, guys. Okay? They are either getting paid with cash, gifts and provisioning, dinners and so forth, or they're getting paid in the kind of currency that all women pay for. And that currency is masculinity. And I don't know if you guys have realized this yet, but masculinity is anything but free. It costs to become and maintain masculinity. And this is why women gladly sleep with these men. So there is a huge difference between paying a woman actual cash and paying her with your ability to charm her panties off and give her the kind of experience that is increasingly rare here in 2021. Women know that men who pay with cash cannot pay her in masculinity. Women know that these two currencies are not the same. Cash is a currency that any man can acquire. Masculinity, charisma, and charm is a currency that few men have. And this is why they give these men their sexual best, because it is far more rare and far more valuable than cash. Men who pay with cash and use the "you pay either way" argument to justify it are simply men who are unwilling to put in the work to become high enough value not to have to pay in cash. I hate to break it to you guys, but having sex requires effort. Okay, there's no getting around that, and that's the way it should be, just like getting access to your resources should require effort on her part. So no, you don't pay either way. These currencies are not the same, and working girls understand this better than anyone.